Hello my gorgeous ones, welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia. Here on my channel I love all things affordable fashion and beauty. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, palette reviews, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. All right, you guys, Nomad Cosmetics, our beloved ever traveling wanderers, have brought us another palette, and this time they have taken us to Ireland. Oh, the lucky Irish. Yes. Don't judge me. Oh, that just came out. I was not prepared for that accent to come out. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, let's gather. Okay, guys, I had to take a moment because I didn't know that was going to come out. This is the Ireland Wild Atlantic Way. So what I gather that this is the west coast, north to south, and we do have a little card in here that talks about it, the towering cliffs, the seas, north to south that it runs, the views, all of the things that you see when you're on the west coast of Ireland. And the cause is the Irish Wildlife Trust. So, you know, anytime you purchase from Nomad, part of the proceeds always go to one of their causes that correlates with the palette. And I am so excited to open this up and share this with you guys. So if you want to see, I think I'm gonna do 4 looks, get my thoughts on this new palette from Nomad Cosmetics. Keep on watching her up and show you this beauty. I know a lot of people, when they started being teased, pretty much right away knew it was going to be Ireland. Doesn't mean they knew exactly where in Ireland. And I think a lot of people have been waiting for this destination. So obviously, this is a green lovers palette. It is also a earthy tones lovers palette. I would definitely call this more like an earthy than a neutral palette, but you do have some neutrals in here. You do have some cool and warm tones, mainly cool, lots of greens, and then a couple of pops of blue in here. And oh my goodness, you guys, I've never had this happen with a Nomad palette. Luckily, it did not shatter, which is good, but this shade right here, which is Cobb Harbor, just fell out. I was like this, and then I heard something hit the ground, and it was this shade, but luckily it did not break. I've never had that happen in a Nomad palette. But I am going to pop in a picture actually over here of the palette in the sunlight. I'm also going to show you guys right here on camera and in pictures, kind of comparing this to others from Nomad that are that same 18 pan size. So we have Haunted Europe. And let me just show you guys. I'm just showing you so that you can see that if you have this palette or you plan on getting it in the future, that they can possibly pair well together, but they're not repeating each other. I went and really studied and looked at like the greens and also the shimmers in here, and there are no repeats, which we love. The other one is the Ghost Town USA palette. And as you can see, that one is the very moody cool tone palette. The greens do not overlap, neither do the shimmers. These both have, I believe, the same formula of shimmers that they went over to that are much more like metallic and shiny and soft, not those kind of crumbly toppers that they were doing some. And then we do also have the Okavango Safari palette. I just want to show you that because it does have greens in there, but they are different tones of greens. Again, you are not repeating yourself with this palette. So this does launch on a Tuesday at 12:01 Central Time. And there is no price as of the time that I'm speaking right now, but I will most likely have the information by the time this goes up and I can put it in the description. So again, this is definitely a green lovers type of palette. I, straight off the bat, knowing that I'm going to do 4 looks, I quickly see 4 different types. So today, I am going to actually do neutrals only. I'm not going to pop any greens in my look. Then I plan on doing a monochromatic all green. I want to definitely dabble with the blues in another look and maybe tie in some of the neutrals into that one. And then I want to do a 4th one that is tying in the neutrals with the greens. So just to kind of give you an idea of like 4 obvious looks that you can do with this palette. So I'm going to go ahead and dig in, and we're going to create a neutral look from the Ireland palette. I did forget to mention this packaging is this felt. It actually reminds me a lot of like a pool table and like the felt. That's what this kind of reminds me of. This is very like old school classic looking Irish sort of feel. So I think it's very like timeless. I also didn't mention that the embossings in here have like the clovers and castles and like Celtic symbols and harps, everything indicative of Ireland. So let's go ahead and dig in. And you guys, I gotta just tell y'all, I have a cold. So if I seem a little off, not quite like myself, I keep kind of taking deep breaths. I do have a cold. I don't feel terrible, but I do not feel very well. And I'm a little stuffy. I'm a little out of breath. So, but I want to get this done for you guys. Okay, I am going in. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, I'm going in with Malin Head right here. It could be Malin Head. I'm not sure. I thought this was going to be neutral. It turns out it's not. This is a very, well, so I kind of just did not stick by what I said I'm going to do as a neutral look. You don't know that until you get it on sometimes. I thought this was, when I saw it in the pan, a very, kind of like a buttercream neutral, but this has more of a green tint to it, or at least my skin turns it green. Something that I've really noticed with the Nomad, and it's only really been in the last several palettes, but not always like their earlier palettes. My skin tone turns shades differently than they appear in the pan of Nomads. I'm going in, by the way, with Connemara. Again, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. This shade right here. But yeah, my skin does change. Especially their mattes. They just, like, for instance, the Ghost Town USA. If you watched my YouTube on that, my skin turned almost all of those a bluish gray. Even the greens, they turned out more blue. One I thought in there for sure was a neutral and going to be brown. It pulled it kind of like a gray blue. So now we have these that are not showing up neutral on me really. So these are very, very light. They're obviously meant to be, I would say, mixed in with some of like the mid-tone and deeper greens to give it sort of a gradient. But as it is just on the lid here, they're very, very light. They are not giving a ton of pigment. And again, my guess, I'm going in, by the way, with Bunratty Castle. My guess is these first two shades are not really meant to like be put on and stand out pigment wise. They're meant to blend into the other shades. So I would say if you have a similar skin tone to me, I don't know if I'm digging this right now. Just to be honest, I don't know that I'm loving this look. I may have to do something else with it. I'm not going to scrap it. I do not start over my videos because I think it's important to show you guys authentically what's happening and transpiring, because you might run into the same issues that I do. And that's my job, is to, you know, honestly and thoroughly review these palettes. But these are not, they just are not blending well together, in my opinion. This shade's a little patchy. I've honestly never really run into that with the Nomad. It could be my skin having an off day. I'm not sure. And that is also another reason why it's important to not just do one look like some of the bigger creators do now. And they do one look and they're like, oh, get this palette, use my code. Or they may say this palette's horrible and they only did one look. You've got to really test it out. But as of right now, I'm not loving this look at all. What I'm going to try is I'm going to take a flatter brush I'm getting a lot of kick up. I'm going to take this flatter brush and see if packing it helps. I have, honestly, I have never had issues, ever, with Nomad's formulas. There's been color stories that I prefer over others. And I wasn't always a fan of the toppers that were kind of harder to pick up or maybe hit hard pan. I've never, ever, ever had issues with the mattes, but I don't know if you can see, but it's like I cannot seem to get pigment to build right here. It's just really patchy. And I don't know. It's just, it's not what I'm used to. Okay, guys, I did the other eye off camera. I was thinking maybe it's just this eye. I do have a vein right here that gets, it can make shadows look kind of either muddy or like it skips because of a vein that I cannot help. I don't have it on this side, and I still just kind of struggled. You know, okay, I'm gonna go in same, because I'm just trying to keep this as neutral as I could. Okay, I'm just, sorry, I am a bit at a loss here. Okay, you guys, I am back. Lashes and liner on. Kind of, sort of eating my words just a little bit, but not completely. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Also, I want to let you guys know I did add an inner corner. I felt like I needed something to make this pop. I think that made a big difference in the look. So I use the Savage Beauty right here. It's a really pretty silvery pewter with like almost like a hint of green. It's like, is there green in it? I'm not sure. Really pretty. Love it as an inner corner. What I mean by saving it is I feel like the liner, the wing specifically, and the lashes really saved this look. And now I'm like, oh, if I would have seen this, I would have been like, what are you talking about? It looks really pretty. Well, the wing is covering where this was just so muddy. I could not blend that out. Not everyone is going to do a wing like this, and it shouldn't take those accessories to make a look, although they always help mine, but that shadow should have been able to blend out on its own and not have to save it with the wings. So that's what I mean, but I actually do like this look now with the wings and the lashes. But again, you shouldn't have to do that. So let me also tell you what is on my lip because I really love it. This is the Busy Bee Satin Lipstick from Colored Rain. I wish every single one of their lipsticks was this formula. It's amazing. And then we have the Milani Keep It Full in Tropical Shine. Gives it just like a little hint of a peachy gold. Love this lip with this look so much. I'm so glad that this wasn't a complete fail because, I mean, before I went and put these on, I was like, this is a disaster. But luckily, I do like this now. Just all those qualms that I already mentioned. So let's really hope and pray that when we play with these greens tomorrow, we don't run into these issues. I hope it's smooth sailing, but we'll have to see. So let's go ahead and get into now look number 2. You guys, I apologize. I really don't want to start over here. I thought I was filming, but I was not. So I'm going to tell you guys what I've done. Also, I am really battling this cold and much worse today. I took medicine before, but this eye has been just nonstop, profusely pouring liquid out of it. I have put drops in. I've taken medicine to try to get through this video. I really want to get this done for you guys and have a good review whenever it does become available. So let me tell you guys what I've done. So far, we're more successful than yesterday. So I put the Wild Rover as the first shade. I went in with Croach Patrick next, and then we have Blarney Stone and this deeper green. Each one is more rich and deeper pigmented than the next here. They also blended in really nicely. Beautiful pigment. I used a fairly packed, denser brush. So far, so much better formula-wise, what I'm used to from NOMAD than yesterday. And yeah, I hope that this will be more successful. I apologize you didn't see it in action. I guess because of that, I'll go ahead and start in on the right eye. Typically, I would do that off camera because it's repetitive for you guys, but just so you can see the shades go down, we can do that. But yes, I was talking away in my video only to have it not record. It's just not my day. And I was also saying in there that, you know, with content creating, it can be real difficult because you can't time when you get sick. And when there are releases, I would have loved to have just laid up in bed. That's all I can think about at the moment, to be honest. I want to be in bed. I feel like I could go to sleep. I've had 2 migraines back to back. Pretty much 30 minutes within each other. The second one started up. So I've taken medicine, taken the shower to like open things up, took something to kind of dry up all this stuff that was pouring out of my orifices just to get this video done. But I mean, if I didn't, I wouldn't feel that I've really completed and done my duty. You know what? Why not, while we're on that topic and I'm sitting here doing this eye, I just want to bring up that if you were here and watching, which obviously you are, if you're hearing this, I really appreciate you. I appreciate that you're seeking out a smaller creator to watch a NOMAD review, because I do get really frustrated that the same bigger creators do seem to get the views all the time. But then I'll see people, you know, complain that there's no thorough reviews anymore. People just really do first impressions. They don't do multiple looks. Well, there are some of us who are doing that. It's just that people aren't seeking us out. I can tell that by my views. No, every time I do a palette review, they are very, very low in views. And it is frustrating because it does take up a lot of time. And I do feel like I'm honest and thorough. But it's also just frustrating because I feel like, how can you complain about something and then not, you know, support the people that are doing the thing that you're looking for? And perhaps we're just being buried, smaller creators, you know, in the algorithm. But I'm always hopeful that that will change. All right, you guys, much, much better quality, like I'm used to from Nomad for sure. So now let's go with the lower lash line. Okay, so I think I want to do is just mimic what I have on the top lid. Do the deepest shade, this Blarney's Castle. And then go from deepest to lightest, just like the top. Okay, now we're gonna go in with this Slate. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but we're going in with it. And that's pretty. This has a blue, definitely a blue and green shift to it. Okay, so this actually would have gone really well with what I was planning to do tomorrow, which is more of these blue toned greens. But I think I would have maybe preferred it in tomorrow's look, but it's still pretty, really pretty. It's one of those earth type of like blue to green shifting shimmers. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with Dia de Hoot, and it is this shade right here. And it's just a beautiful bright green. Oh yeah, that really brightens things up. That's pretty. These shimmers have that gorgeous, silky, smooth texture to them. Very, very shiny. I feel very peacock-like. It kind of reminds me of a look that I did with the Adept Flying Fiddles palette. It's kind of giving me those same vibes, because I know in that one, a few of the greens leaned more of a green blue, like this duochrome. Yeah, it's pretty. Okay, next we're going in with Salon. Right here, it's gonna be so bright. This is so bright and pretty that I definitely want to put this all over the lid as well, maybe in tomorrow's look, because it's just too pretty to only have in the inner corner. But it's a really good inner corner because it is so bright. But yeah, this has that antique yellow gold green look to it. It's a really, really, really pretty shade. Shimmers are like 10 out of 10. All right, you guys, I think I'm gonna stop there, put the lashes, liner, lip on, and come back. I feel so much better going out to do that than yesterday's look, and I end up liking yesterday's look. So I think this is gonna be really good, but let me run and do that, and then we'll come back and wrap up look number 2. You guys, the eyes are done, the lip is on. I wish I would have put on the same lashes that I did yesterday. I think these are a little too natural and subtle for such a bold look. I think these needed some more flair, but at least you get to see more of the shadow this way. night and day. So much better experience formula wise. Now on the lips, I am wearing two IBY Beauty products. This is the shade lipstick in the shade 213. And then the gloss is their gloss lip topper in Caramel. And yeah, you guys, oh my gosh, so much easier to work with today. I think this look is beautiful. It's bold. You have to like a bold green look to want to wear this, but I had zero issues with these shades. As a matter of fact, I mean, they are so rich in pigment, super easy to work with. I love the shimmer toppers in here. I've now used 12 shades and there are 18, so we're getting close to using them all. Tomorrow, I definitely want to mix in a few of the kind of like blue toned greens and create some sort of look with those, and then definitely go in with the blues on the fourth look. So stay tuned for look number 3. All right, you guys, day number 3. I'm feeling a little bit better, still stuffy, but so much better than yesterday. I wanted to die while I was filming yesterday. Just FYI. Oh, it was not good. So today I'm excited though, because I know exactly what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna take one for the team. I'm gonna go back in with my Troublemaker shade here from the first look. I just want to make sure that it wasn't the brush, that it wasn't me, because I was really sick that day. And so this brush served me well yesterday with the packing of the greens. So I'm going to go back in with the shade. Instead of putting it on the outer, I'm going to place it kind of like right here. So let's do it. I'm doing this for you guys because I want to make sure that I review this adequately. And, you know, sometimes it can be us and not the palette. You know, certain formulas are better with packing. Already, I can tell the difference. Already. When I first used this shade with a fluffier brush and not a more densely packed brush, and whenever I was just going in and trying to blend over here, no, it was not getting this pigment for one. And, you know, it was real kind of patchy. It was all flying away. This is already helping me with this shade so much by using a different brush and just packing it on. So that is my recommendation for this shade, is pack, 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 and go in with a denser brush. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with Emerald Isle right here. This looks like it is, oh, it's more green than I thought it was gonna be. I thought this was gonna have a bit of a blue, but we're gonna see how, no, it's definitely more green. This is more of a true emerald green. Well, it makes sense. It's called Emerald Isle. Duh. Okay. That makes sense. But I'm going to see how it plays, or how this brown shade does play with this shade when they meet here in the middle. It's kind of weird because it's almost not laying down the green. Like every time I lift my brush, the green pigment kind of lifts up and then you see the brown underneath. So that's kind of interesting. I'm going to leave that and I'm going to go back and try to kind of blend that with a different brush and see what happens. But next we're going to go in with the, you guys, how do you say this? It's T-A-I-N-T-E. Oh, these don't have as much of a blue tint as I was expecting. They're not as, you know, verdant green, not that green grass, or like a deep jewel tone type of green. I really thought they were going to have a little bit of a blue to them, and they really don't. They're just a very deeply saturated green. Okay, I'm going back in with that Burn Ready Castle my Ombre Brown here, and I'm going to kind of just bring it a little bit further inside and then blend here. It sort of blends nicely. I mean, it does turn murky. I don't know if it's the prettiest combo blend. If you like a sort of murky brown, you know, this is kind of very army leaning, this combo. It turns, like I said, it's just like a little bit murky right here, but I wouldn't say it looks patchy. I wouldn't say it looks muddy. It kind of looks intentional that you did it this way. I kind of like it. Okay, I think I'm going to take that Connemara, sorry, shade that I know is kind of that buttercream yellow, and just work it in here a little bit. Now it's not looking so buttercream. It's actually looking almost, I don't know, it turns it kind of gray. I was not expecting that. So it just, mixing that in with the brown just created a sort of gray tone. It almost erased it away. Huh. This is just one big experiment for me, this palette. You see how I just basically took that away? The brown? Do we like that? I don't know if we like that or not. Okay, guys. Okay, I'm going back in. I'm putting it back in because I don't like that. We'll see how this layers back over. Oh my goodness. I think this shade and I are just not friends. I don't think it's a bad color. Like, I think it's a pretty shade, a very, very pretty shade of brown. I'm just wondering if it's not the right one to have in this palette. I don't think, unless I am just absolutely blending wrong, using wrong combinations, I don't think it plays nice with the other shades in here. I just don't. That looks better adding it back in. But yeah, it's a strange, I don't know if I've ever had a matte just like be on my nerves like this matte. And I do feel like the formula it is better when you use a different brush. So it's not the formula's fault necessarily. I just don't know if this brown belongs in here. I think, say this brown was in the Hudson Valley palette, I could totally see it working in that palette. You have those kind of like warm tones in there, like you have like a mustard, I think it would go well with. I think it would go well with like a reddish tone. I don't think it works with these greens. I think just a different brown. Maybe not such a reddy brown. Okay. I'm going to go in with the Salon Slain. I'm not sure how you say it, but it was that gorgeous, like green, gold. Oh, it's so pretty. I had it on the inner corner in the first look, but I was saying it's so pretty that I want it to have a larger domain. I want it to have more space to glow on the full lid. Love it, love it, love it. It's so pretty. All right, I feel like I really need something in my crease here. It just doesn't flow nice. So I'm going back in with that deepest green and just gonna kind of frame the shimmer. It will be a miracle if this look is cohesive. But I'm loving these shimmers. I love the greens. And you know what? Some of you may get this palette and you're like, that red brown shade is my favorite. I hope that for you. I hope that's your journey. It's not mine, but I hope you can make it work because the rest of the palette's lovely so far. Okay, I changed the shape ever so slightly off camera just by getting this brush and just doing this and dragging, instead of it being more of like a rounded circle right here, it just drug it out to be a little bit more of this like pointed, because I'm not gonna wear a wing, like these will be my wings. All right, I'm gonna go in with Emerald Isle. I think I want a brighter lower lash line because it kind of got covered up here. I just feel like it disappeared. You don't really see the gradient like I wanted to. So we'll just let it be a brighter green on the lower lash. I really do love that emerald shade. It's really, really pretty. It may be my favorite green in here, to be honest. And I do think it's cool that these are actually pulling green when I expect most of the time shades to pull cooler on me, because they always do. I truly thought these would pull blue and they do not. So Ring of Kerry is one that I used in the first look. It's the like more true gold here. I'm just gonna pop that more in the inner, not the inner corner, just the inner portion of the lid, because I think I want to do a matte for the inner corner actually, just to switch things up. So you can definitely tell the difference in tone. This is a green gold and this is like a true yellow type of gold. Okay, I'm gonna take Malin Head. This is gonna be my inner corner. It is that really light green that the first look I thought was a neutral and realized it had this real light green tone. I like that as an inner corner actually. It is bright enough where it just brightens it up a bit. I think this would be beautiful blended in right here. Let's just do it a little bit. I'm just going to take it over more and blend it into the emerald. Together, that kind of creates a gradient that I like. Okay, guys, that was a lot of effort. I think this is going to be one of those that when I get the lashes and liner on, I think I'm going to like it better, the whole look. So let me go do that and we'll see how this looks. Okay guys, I'm back. I do like it all put together. It's bold again. That's kind of been the theme of this palette. It's going to be hard to be subtle, I feel like. Anytime you have very pigmented greens, it's same thing if you have really pigmented blues, it's going to be bold. But I do think that this turned out pretty, even though it was frustrating for a little bit. My lip also kind of gave me some issues, but I do like the final result. It took a minute to get here too. So let me tell you what I'm wearing. I have this liner from Mora. This is the Sandy Brown, and it's kind of a warm brown. Or no, I'm sorry, it's kind of a nude brown. And then I was thinking that this lipstick from Trace Luce Beauty, when I saw nude on the bottom, I was thinking, oh yeah, perfect, a nude. And forgetting it looked like this. It's actually almost like a red nude. And I was like, oh, that's not what I'm going for. So then I put on this baby doll liquid lip from Simply Posh, thinking it would maybe turn it more of like neutralize it into a nude nude. And it still didn't quite do the trick. So then I went in with this IBY and actually love this. This is the Cinnabunny. It's the gloss lip topper. And it's actually an iridescent bronze and pink, which isn't exactly what I was going for either. Regardless, I think that the lip is actually really, really pretty. I don't know that it goes perfectly with the whole look, Probably not, but this is what we're working with. I do like this look. I do. I just think, bottom line, you've got to love greens for this palette. You really, really do. Oh, there goes my shade falling out again. So I've used every shade in here now except for these two and this one, Danny Boy, and then the two blues. So tomorrow I am going to stick with those three that I have not used. And then I think I want to pop this one in again because it was so pretty. I'm going to try to be a little bit more subdued. It's still going to be bold because this is a bold, deeper blue, but I'm not going to do any greens tomorrow so I can show you that you don't have to do green. But so far, I mean, every shade in here really except this one, some of the shimmers here is going to be green leaning, just so you guys know. I want you to be aware because you gotta love greens. So, all right, you guys, look number 3 is done and we're gonna move into look number 4. All right, you guys, day 4, I am going to jump right into it because this video is already so long. I've already been editing it and it's gonna be probably my longest video ever. So I'm going in with the deep blue right here, Keem Strand. And I think today we are gonna just do more of a halo eye because I'm keeping it more simple, concentrating on the blue. Ooh, this is a really pretty midnight blue. And in case anyone's wondering, in case you've even made it this far in this video, because this is a long video, I'm even worse today, sick-wise. Yesterday I was like, ooh, I'm getting better. I thought for sure today I would hop on here and be really peppy, not stuffy or snotty, but that is unfortunately not the case. I'm exhausted again and snotty and all the things. So I'm determined to finish out this video that I committed to for you guys. So also I wanted to tell you guys that almost always when I'm doing multiple looks, I will keep the makeup base the same. I forget to say that. Every once in a while, I may wear a different blush. I will switch out highlighters depending on like the tone of the eye look. And of course the lip's different. But as far as the base, most of the time the blush, the bronzer, all those things, I keep the same, and I do that for a very specific reason. I never want, like say I'm having just a horrible base day, if I do something different, I don't want that to detract from the look and you're like, oh, I don't like this look or it doesn't look good. And it's really because the base makeup's different. If I just keep it the same, it keeps it about the eyeshadow. So of course the lip can make a difference. By the way, I just dipped into the Danny Boy and I'm gonna try to kind of just blend and connect the top here. See how this blends out. So this is like a green gray, I would say, which makes sense with the palette. It's not a true gray, not a true taupe. I would say, you know, like if you're painting your walls green, I mean, no, if you're painting your walls gray, there can be all different tones of gray. You can have a brown gray, a blue gray, a green gray. This is definitely a green gray. So, you know, I am like blending it into the blue, but I do think it does work. I don't think it clashes or anything. I do think this is kind of a smart one because it's working with the blue. It would probably work even better with the green, but at least it can work with both. Man, that really did make it a lot lighter. So I'm just gonna blend, I think I'm just gonna blend it into the outer regions of the blue to kind of, because I don't want it to be like this is super light in the middle and then you're all dark on the outside. That wouldn't really make sense. So I'm just gonna kind of blend these all together to get it to look more seamless. Okay, I did go ahead and do the lower lash off camera because I figured you guys didn't really need to see that. I will say that when you add the Danny Boy, that shade, the Wild Atlantic Way, and Malin Head, those three lightest mattes in here, they really erase pigment, which could be a good thing. Like if, let's say, some of these are too saturated for you, if you blend in those lighter mattes, it just almost erases that deep pigment. So that would solve your problem. If you're someone that likes to keep your, you know, like your blue and your green really pigmented, don't blend those in because it'll definitely wash it away. I did have to kind of go back and build this up because adding that lighter matte really, really faded it. This shade is really pretty. Really, really pretty. This Cobb Harbor, it's not as pigmented of a shimmer as some of the other metallics in here. It's a little bit softer, but it is very, very, very pretty. Like this almost reminds me of a look I could get with the Natasha Denona Xenon palette, because that palette for me pulls very, very blue instead of gray or silver. And you can get kind of this, I call it like a dark denim smoky eye with that palette. I'm kind of getting the same effect by using these blues. Okay, next I'm going to take the Savage Beauty shade again. This is the one that I added to the first eye, but I did it off camera so you guys can really see it. I mean, this may be my favorite shimmer in here. Oh my gosh, it is so foiled. Like, it is a different finish than this blue one. This blue one is a little bit harder to pick up. It's not like a topper shade necessarily. It's just, this just comes right off on the finger, has a little bit more texture to it, and is just, I mean, bam, foiled metallic, really, really pretty. Packs a really, really big punch. I'm gonna take the brush and just dab right here. I mean, wow. A little bit goes a long way with this one. Okay, I really like this a lot. I feel like this is more me almost than any of the other looks. So I'm happy. I'm gonna put on the lashes and liner lip, do the whole thing. We'll come back and wrap up our Ireland Wild Atlantic Way. Here we have the final look. I love this look. I think this look is actually my favorite, maybe because it just feels like the most me, but I love these blues. I think it's so pretty. I had no issues here. So Ob Harbor, it has a little bit of a shift in it. There is like a blue to purple or pink. It's really hard to pick up here, but there is a little shift, and it's definitely a different texture, I'd say, than all the other shimmers. Maybe it's the same as, no, I think this one's just different, or maybe it's pressed differently, but I still like it on the eyes. I kind of wish it was a little bit more like oomph, like the other ones, but I'd say my favorite looks are the second and the fourth. And what do they have in common? They do not have this shade in there. My overall assessment of this palette is I struggled with it a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Granted, I've been sick. My eyes are watering up right now. So I've been sick. That may be somewhat of an issue, but I really don't think so. I think I just don't like this shade in the palette. I would also say these are just gonna be my critiques. I don't think this is a bad palette, but my critiques are, there's a lot of greens in here, which it's an Ireland palette. It makes a lot of sense, but there are 18 pans. I kind of wish there were maybe 2 less greens or 2 less green leaning shades in here, because like I said, these that look more like neutrals do have a green tone to them. And it does kind of become like almost one note, except for the blues. Like they're kind of the random stars in this palette for me. I love all the metallics. I would keep all of those. I would just take out this shade, two of the greens, I would pop in a more neutral brown, more kind of what's on my lips. Like you can see it's a little bit more neutral than this. And then I would have popped in maybe one more bluish shade, like maybe one more matte. And then, I don't know, maybe something just more truly neutral. I like this palette a lot. Is it my favorite Nomad palette? No, it's not. If you are a green lover and you're like, give me all the greens, I will ignore this shade. I say absolutely purchase it. If you think there's going to be neutrals in here, there's really not. I would also say if you're someone that loves that metallic formula that was in Ghost Town USA and you really want those shiny metallics and like you also like greens, I think this would be for you. But I had fun with it. I struggled with it. Sometimes they can't all just be a walk in the park when it comes to our makeup. I'm definitely going to continue to play with this. It's not a palette I am like sad that I own. I'm really happy that I own it. I'm thankful that I own it. I will definitely pull it out for these. I love this little like trio right here so much. And I love the metallics, like I said. So yeah, it was an interesting one for me. You guys have to let me know if you're still at the end of this. You've been on a journey. You've been on a journey with me. Okay, no, I'm going to do that again. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here for this really long video. I really appreciate it. As always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.